For most of my life, I fished in a canoe on lakes and rivers. But when I moved down here to Wilmington, North Carolina, I had to transition to brackish water where a canoe was not going to work. Let me share one of the resources I used to get up to speed. Stay tuned. When my son was just a little guy, we used to watch the G.I. Joe cartoon together, and one of the things G.I. Joe would always say, I think at the end, was, "Knowing is half the battle." Well, I took that to heart when I moved down here and had to start fishing on the coast for sea trout and mostly redfish and flounder. Well, I knew a canoe would not work. I sold it off before I moved down and knew that I had to get into a kayak because it would sit lower on the water and deal with the waves a lot better. But how to buy a kayak, how to set it up for saltwater fishing, I was clueless. And one of the resources I used to get myself squared away was the Salt Strong course on setting up a kayak. Let me take you through a quick overview of the course, and if you are about to transition from fresh to salt, you may want to take advantage of this course as well. Well, let me get these glasses off, put on my computer nerd glasses, and then we'll switch so I can show you an overview of the course. Here's the overview of the course. I paid for this. Yes, I paid for it, and I'm a cheap guy. And the great thing about this course is that it not only includes information about buying, configuring, and setting up your kayak, but it also has information that is critical if you're an angler on finding fish and fishing from your kayak. So let's look at each of these 4 sections individually, and I'll give you a quick overview. So the big idea, of course, is, hey, fish from a kayak. And here are the key things about choosing a kayak. And the one thing that I will emphasize here is do not buy a sit inside kayak. Always get a sit on top. Much easier for fishing. And the discussion of those issues is all right in here. So you can get an insight on that. Then we all like to customize. I mean, that's what my channel is all about, is do-it-yourself kayak hacks. And so here's some information about choosing gear and accessories, rigging, and other critical information about just getting your kayak ready to go out on the water for the first time. And you know, one of the things I really like about this section right here is Tony, the individual who recorded it, makes the point that you don't want to go nuts buying accessories until you've actually used your kayak. And that's something that I mentioned in the sea trials part of my kayak setup series that I'll link up right here. Because until you go out and use your kayak a couple times, you're not really going to know where all those things need to be placed. Then I tell you the great bonus of this course is the finding fish section. It talks about all these great aspects of fishing in brackish salt water that you may not be aware of if you're a freshwater angler like I was for, 60 years before I came down here. And I tell you, the information on water levels and tides and current is the most important piece of this. And you can see, if you looked at my other video on fishing for redfish, a lot of the good information that was in that course is duplicated here. So if you're pressed for cash, just get this one because it's got a lot of good information on finding fish. And then we move into fishing from the kayak. Talks about lures, tackle, management, because everything is going to get tangled in a small kayak, so you need to do that right. And finally, the bonus material is fascinating. That other course was about catching redfish, and here's a whole section on redfish right here. So again, if you're strapped for cash, this is a course to take just for this fishing from the kayak and the bonus material section. Talks through the setup, wind, current, anchoring, all sorts of stuff, especially if you're going to put a fish finder on there. There's good information here on the fish finder debate, and I really appreciated the buying used kayak section. Now, one of the things that I got interested in when I was looking at these courses is what the heck is this Insider Club? And so I clicked on it and I saw that the Insider Club would offer a lot more features on a monthly basis, although there's a basic membership as well, to someone who's a saltwater angler. And I would encourage you to take a look at this. I'm thinking about jumping in and seeing everything that's associated with this, because I noticed that there are a lot more courses down here that I could take advantage of and save a heck of a lot of money on, even if I was only a member of this at the pro level, the annual, $8 a month, than buying these courses individually. So that may be something you want to think about. So there you go. Take the winter, get smart, learn some stuff, and be a better kayak angler in the coming season. Have you guys taken this course? You got thoughts on any of their courses? If so, throw them down in the comments and I'd appreciate it. Thank you.